How are those orchid seeds doing that I flasked back in May? Well, today is the day that I'm going to share with you what they're doing, how they're doing, and we'll find out more about them. Hi, welcome to Attainable Green. I'm Jess, and today we're going to be talking about orchid seeds. So late May, I had flasked or sowed zygo hybrid seeds in a jar, actually in 4 jars. And today is the day that I'm going to share with you how they're doing. It's been almost a year since I had flasked them, and they definitely germinated, but there is still a long ways to go. So currently I have a zygo hybrid in 4 flasks. I sowed them with different amounts of seed, and I just wanted to see what the spread would be like. So looking at all of these, I would say one jar has significantly more germination than the rest because they had more seeds in them than the other flasks. So there is a good proportion that emerged out of seed, and they are turning green. A few have started these very tiny hairy leaves and these tiny hairy roots. They're not as distinctive, and it's kind of hard to film, but these tiny little green dots are the protocorns, or I guess the early stage of what the seedlings are looking like. Judging by the growth rate of these plants, I definitely have a long way to go before they come out of flask or before they will be reflasked. I believe the standard for reflasking is either when the plants run out of room to grow, or when you can see a distinct set of 2 leaves or roots on the plant. And the last one would be if the nutrient solution in the media has started to degrade and it's causing some die-off in the seedlings. So currently none of those situations have occurred with my flasks, so they're going to stay in these jars for a little while longer. Since spring is on its way, I think the growth will pick up quite a bit. I definitely saw the growth slow during the cooler season and during winter time. So hopefully when the weather warms up, these plants will grow a little faster. It's really exciting to see how they grow, but I noticed that I still have a lot to learn about these plants. One major thing I noticed is that some of the seeds actually penetrated through the media and they started growing towards the bottom of the flask itself. So I'm not sure how those will do because it's kind of encased around the gelatinous solution. But I know for next time I will probably have to make my agar a little bit thicker so that it'll keep the plants growing at the top on the surface of the agar instead of in the middle or at the bottom of the jar. And that way it could have a better air to nutrient ratio. So that's how my very first round of sowed seeds are doing. So after this first round, I did have a second round of seedlings. I got some seeds from Michael McCarthy towards the end of August, and I sowed them early September. Now he gave me a wide variety of seed, Dendrobium, Brassavola, and I was really excited to try it out. So I did sow the seeds, but unfortunately they all got contaminated. I think it's because the method I was using for my zygos didn't necessarily work for the seeds that I got because they were a lot larger. They didn't fit in the syringe, and so the method for disinfecting them didn't necessarily work. That second round actually became a complete failure. So I had to reassess how I was going to disinfect and clean up the seeds for this round. And so I have a third round of seeds that I sowed with Michael McCarthy seeds, and I'm still waiting to see how they do. It's really hard to photograph, so I don't really have great images of them, but I am really excited. So I hopefully will see some more positive growth and some success signs so I can show how they're doing with that. Not only that, I'm also waiting on a couple of seed pods from some cattleyas that I crossed. So that will be some interesting things I'm going to be working on towards the summer season with flasking those seeds. So overall, the whole seed flasking process has been quite a learning experience. With making the agar media, I think I'm getting better at it and keeping it nice and clean. Of course, I still get about 10% contamination in the jars that I have. I think that's just because I maybe have not sealed it correctly or something has happened. And that's not too bad because I'm only making like 10 jars at a time. As for the seeds and doing that process, I think it's really interesting that depending on the size of the seeds, there's a different way to clean and sow those seeds. I want to share my successes in these processes and not just like something I tested out and then failed and then forget to update about the failures. So I want to make sure that I have a great process first before sharing how I'm sowing the larger seeds that I have. It's definitely going to be a couple of years before these seedlings come out of flask and turn into full-grown plants. So that is going to be a very long wait, but I am definitely in it for the learning experience, and I'm definitely learning a lot. This definitely takes orchid growing to a different level, but it's really exciting because there's so much diversity in orchid growing, and this is an area that I feel needs more information and would love to have more people participate, experiment, and do this because it's really not that hard. It's just more problem solving. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see more updates on these plants, please subscribe to my channel, Attainable Green, hit the notifications so whenever I send out a new video, you won't miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!